presentation is mainly for the gold nanoparticle group. Okay. So I have worked on the presentation of gold nanoparticle group. Some a few things I want to show you that, and how I have worked on that you will see. So let me present. Okay, stop presenting. Let me present another slide. Okay, so anyway, so generally for everyone, when you are writing your thesis, what you will do here, you will write the title of your thesis, as you can see here. No? So it is synthesis of gold nanoparticles by modified Tulkevich method and the literature review. And then here somewhere there should be the logo of USTM. Okay, because you are USTM students, you are studying at USTM, therefore the logo of USTM should be there somewhere. Then here, now if you see, click to add subtitle, as you can see here. So here you should write your names, the names of the students who are presenting. Okay, like your 3 students are presenting, then you write your name and class roll number. Okay, name, class roll number, and finally Department of Physics, USTM, something like that you can write. Okay, but here this in this box, suppose here I am writing Rakib, and then you write your roll number. Suppose roll number I don't know, suppose 10, like that. 10 means you write full name, full roll number. Then second student, suppose Jimmy. Okay, then you write your roll number. Suppose Jimmy is 20. So this way, right? And then finally you write like Department of Physics. No? Department of Physics. Oh, you have to write your course also. You have to write your course. Suppose Master of Science or Bachelor of Science, and then you write Department of Physics, USTM. Okay. So that way you have to write. So this space is for writing your name, roll number, class, and department or affiliation. Okay. Okay, so after you have made this first slide, in the second slide, here you should write the contents of your presentation. Contents like next it's introduction, then your motivation. Motivation means why you are working with that particular material or in that particular topic. Okay. Then experiments, like what you have done in your project. Then here we have done mainly literature review. Then you have to write literature review, optical properties. Then again you have to write about their surface enhanced Raman scattering. This is for gold nanoparticle. Okay, not for zinc oxide. But I can see only one student from gold nanoparticle group is there. I don't know why others are not there. Then you have to write, you have to go to then observation not required. Then you come to conclusion and future plans. Okay, so these things you have to write when you are writing about your contents. Okay, and after conclusion and future plans, you have to write this thing, acknowledgement. Okay, acknowledgement while writing the thesis, acknowledgement you write towards in the beginning of the thesis, right? But when you are presenting, in that case you have to write your acknowledgement at the last. Okay, you have to write this is a conclusion. After conclusion you make another slide. Suppose here I am showing you another slide. Here I will type acknowledgement. And in acknowledgement, then you have to write point wise, right? So who you want to acknowledge for your work. So like first is your like thesis supervisor. Supervisor. Then you have to write maybe the head of the department. You want to acknowledge it. Then your all other teachers. All other teachers. But when you are writing these things, you write the names, okay, like thesis supervisor, in this case, my name for you. For HOD, you have to write HOD's name. All other teachers, like whoever have taught you during your studies in the department. Then your friends, like your classmates and friends, Then maybe your family. Yeah, so this way you can acknowledge these people. No? So in most of the cases, when we are writing thesis or we are doing presentations, so we acknowledge these many people. Okay, so you remember this thing, but you write the names. Okay, like thesis supervisor, HOD, all other teachers, like all the names of the teachers and classmates, friends. Classmate, friend, you don't have to write all 50, 60 people. Just you can write like we would acknowledge the help and support and friendship of our friends, family members. We want to acknowledge and like gratitude, express our gratitude towards our family members for their support. So these things you can write. Okay. Okay, so, and then finally will come the last slide is about it's about like thank you. But thank you. So in thank you slide, you can include some pictures, like pictures like you can download some pictures of thank you, or you can download some other nice pictures from internet and you can show. So that is no problem. And thank you, generally people write in a different way. Like if I go to suppose animations, no, not animation, maybe I go to design and people write thank you generally in a stylish way, no? So that it creates an impression. So how to write this? I don't know even. Okay, anyway, you'll find it somewhere here. Okay, maybe there can be slide design like this. Okay. So you're here, then when you come here, okay, I'm showing you something. Just give me a moment. Slideshow from current slide. Okay, we are at acknowledgement, and when you are coming to thank you, and there is some animation in thank you. Okay. So acknowledgement, thank you. So you may make your design if you are interested. There are many design things are given in PowerPoint. So, okay. So I have this much is clear. Now I am coming to this point, like I have mentioned already. You have to include figures, you have to explain figures, but at the same time you have to write point wise. Okay. And when you are making PowerPoints, you have to write point wise. Okay. Otherwise, if you don't write point wise, it will be very boring to read. Okay. Suppose if you see this introduction slide. Okay. In the introduction slide, this is common for almost everyone. If you are working on zinc oxide nanoparticles or suppose gold nanoparticles, this is common, but figures may be different, but the main motive behind introduction is same. Because we are all working on nanomaterials, and when you have I mean, you have to introduce like why you are working on zinc oxide nanomaterial or why you are working with gold nanoparticles. In that case, so the introduction part should be to start with nanomaterial. Nanomaterial means why we work with nanomaterials. Okay. So now here in this slide, you just try to understand. Suppose I had not included these figures. No? Suppose these two figures are not there. Okay. And you just write these points, so it will not be very interesting. Okay. I mean the listener or the person who is attending your seminar, that person will get bored, because if you are just writing but you are not including any figures, etc. Okay. And that therefore what we can do is we can include relevant figures. Okay. So, okay, so nanomaterials, so you know all these things because I have already discussed in one of our previous videos. So, nanomaterials possess large surface to volume ratio or large fraction of atoms reside on the surface. Okay. So, this all you know. Then, in order to explain this, we have this particular figure. I think this figure you can see all clearly. Suppose this is a smaller cube with 1 centimeter length each. This is a larger cube with 2 centimeter length each, and this is largest cube of all three. So now if you calculate the surface to volume ratio of the cube, you will see that for the smallest cube, it is maximum, no? 6:1. For the medium cube with 2 centimeter size, it is 3:1. And for the largest one, it is 2:1, okay? So when you are reducing the size of the particle, like nanomaterials are very small size particles, their surface to volume ratio increases. And how it increases, you can explain this with the help of this figure. Okay, so you can get this figure anywhere. You not necessarily you have to include this particular figure, but there are several places. You can also include spheres, no? Because in your classes I have included the example of spheres. Okay, so this figure corresponds to this point, no? Very well understandable. Then the second is the physical and chemical properties are drastically different from corresponding bulk material. So why this happens? This second point is again related to the first point, because nanoparticles or nanomaterials have huge fraction of atoms, not huge number, huge fraction. Okay, you don't get confused. Huge fraction of atoms on the surface. Therefore, their physical and chemical properties are different from corresponding bulk material. And these things have been discussed in one of our previous videos. And maybe in YouTube also I have uploaded some videos like this. So you can find that those explanations in YouTube. Okay. Then another thing, another advantage of nanomaterials is not a nano advantage, but this thing, this third point comes from here. Physical and chemical properties are drastically different. How drastically different? If the examiner asks you, you can give an example of this discrete density of states. Okay, so density of states by now you know very well, and in MSc class I have also given in your examination what is density of states and which material has the most discrete density of states. So that is given. So the result is quantum dot, and everyone has written the right answer, correct answer, that quantum dots have the most discrete density of states. Okay. So how does this concept of discrete density of states come? They come from this part, from this general statement, no? Drastically different. How drastically different? If the examiner asks you, then you can show. So like see here we have a 3-dimensional or bulk material. It has continuous density of states. Okay, but when you are reducing the size of the material, the density of states keeps on getting discrete. And finally, when we have a quasi 0-dimensional material, we get very discrete density of states. Okay, so this way you are writing something at the same time you are explaining the same thing from this figure. Okay, so like this. Okay, this is the template. You can change your language here and there, or you can include more points, but my what I want to tell you is that you always include figures. Okay, it makes more interesting. Okay, and BSc students, do you know the concept of density of states? I think I have explained in figures in our classes also. So the concept of density of states is very important when we are talking about nanomaterials. Okay, and of course, when you have finished preparing your PowerPoint presentation, I will discuss the presentation with individual groups. Okay, not with everyone, but suppose Rakib and who is in your group? Rakib, Devojit, right?
Yes, sir, that was it.
Suppose I will call you and Devojit, and I will we will work on the PowerPoint presentation. I will give you 10 minutes, and then I will give Devojit 10 minutes to explain. So mock test, no? Like mock presentation in front of me, so that you are comfortable in front of the examiner. Okay. So same with all other groups. Same with Jimmy and Albion, and also Inda and this Nazma's group. Okay. So I will, but for that you have to first finish preparing your presentation. Okay. And then once you have finished, I will also do some corrections here and there, and then we'll do mock test. Okay. Now here you see, I'm not going to discuss this band structures more, because already discussed in other videos, and also in YouTube you will find my videos. So here, just see, I have written just one caption. No? This band gap is for semiconductors band structure, and this is for metals. So if someone wants to join, is there someone who is this? Saurabh. Okay. Okay. So here you see, this is the band gap of band structure of semiconductor. You can see I have written, no? Semiconductor band gap widening with decrease in dimension. Okay. So you see that dimension, I mean nanomaterials dimensions are reduced, and therefore the band gap is increasing corresponding to bulk semiconductor. Okay. You know this thing very well. But this band widening phenomenon is also observed for metals. Okay, so metals, the thing is a bit different. For a metal has to be for gold nanoparticle group. This is very important. Not for semiconductor, not for zinc oxide group, but gold nanoparticle group. Okay, we'll discuss these things individually and in more detail. So like here you see bulk metal, there is no gap between valence and conduction band. But when we have clusters, cluster means like group of atoms. Okay. For large clusters, we begin to see discrete energy levels. Okay. But we have very small clusters, like, and a small cluster metal, large metal cluster means there are 100 atoms. Okay. There are approximately 100 atoms that we call large metal clusters. Okay. But when we have only one metal nanoparticle or metal cluster with only 3 atoms, in that case also we can see very much discrete energy levels. Okay. Is this clear? So this is important for metal nanoparticle group. Also, this is for semiconductor. Okay. So, okay, now you see the caption is only one line. Energy level of bulk metal, this one, large metal cluster, 100 atoms, and so on, just one here also. But now it is up to the examiner. Examiner might ask you, because you are just in the undergraduate or postgraduate level, how these energy bands are formed in a solid. Okay. That question the examiner might ask you. Examiner may ask you, or examiner has every right to ask you. No? If I am your examiner, I will also ask you, how do you get these energy bands? Then you have to explain everything from the solid state physics knowledge. Like solids are made up of atoms. Atoms have all their energy levels. When there are many atoms, their energy levels, no, they overlap with one another, and we get energy bands. Okay, these things, that is up to you how we will explain, like how energy bands in solids are found. That you know already, I guess, and you have to explain. But those things you don't have to write here, like how these bands are formed. You have it is up to the examiner. No, examiner may be asking you or may not be asking you. It's up to the examiner. Okay, but this way you are showing some figure, and you are just writing one line each to explain your point. Okay. Now this is again another introduction part. This is for the upper figure is for metal nanoparticles, gold nanoparticles of different sizes. And this one is for semiconductor nanoparticles. Okay. Now you have now the question may be why they are of different color. We are not writing that thing here because we don't need to write. But when you are showing such figures, then the examiner himself may know this or may not know the answer. Okay. Therefore, even if he does not know the answer, he would like to ask you, like, why you see different colors here? What does it mean? Or even if he knows it, then again, then also he may ask you, like, why are you seeing different colors here? What is the reason that these nanoparticles, samples, or solution are of different color? So that you should be ready to explain. Okay, I have explained these things already in previous videos, so not going to explain. But be ready to explain these things. You don't have to write in slide too many things. Like these are gold nanoparticles, where of the different color. Of course, the color is related to size. And these are semiconductor nanoparticles, and they are of different colors. Okay. Okay, so next is motivation. Here we have written point-wise why you want to work with motivation. This is for gold nanoparticle. Okay, for zinc oxide, your motivations will be different. Okay, and here also I have written some more points. 2 slides for motivation. In motivation, you can add some figures, but you can write point wise also. No, 6, 7, 5. Suppose 5, 6 points are enough. Here I have written a bit more, but 5, 6 points are also enough when you are writing motivation. Okay, but you just note down what are the things that you have to include in your presentation. Then in motivation, you can show one figure, like this is for gold nanoparticle. So you see gold nanoparticles are of different shapes and sizes, right? This shape, this one, this one, this one. And that is also true for zinc oxide, because you have written in your thesis, all of you, that zinc oxide nanostructures of different sizes. Okay, so that is here also I've written some caption. The gold nano different sizes: cube, octahedra, decahedra, triangular, and dumbbell shape, and so on, so on. This is also a motivation. No? That means gold nanoparticles are very versatile and so on. Okay. Okay, after motivation comes experiment. Okay, so experiment means what you have done. So experiment, here also we have written some points, and this is actually a video. I can show you. If you can show your video, it's very good. Oh. So let me see the video runs or not. Yeah, the video is running actually. Okay, you may not be able to see it, but let me see. Yeah, the video is running. This is the gold nanoparticle synthesis video. Similarly, if you zinc oxide groups have zinc oxide synthesis video, you can include. And if you don't have video, you can also include your photos or pictures. I think photos are also, photos you have included in your thesis also, so not a big problem. Okay, after synthesis, it's your result and discussion part. Okay. So here it is for gold nanoparticle formation mechanism. I think we would add one more slide to explain how the gold nanoparticles are formed. I think these things are written in the thesis. From thesis also you can write, but you remember you have to write point wise. Okay. So it is the same. Okay, this is for gold nanoparticles. So I'm just copying this. Paste. So gold nanoparticle formation mechanism, you have to write pointwise. Suppose point 1 is suppose A, point 2 is B, like this you have to write pointwise. Okay, don't write in long sentences, but write pointwise in small sentences. Okay. Okay, then it comes optical properties, because we could not do many experiments. No? Therefore, optical properties. Okay, so again the band structure is shown here. Like this is for conductor or metal, semiconductor, dielectric. Okay, because we are discussing about surface plasmon resonance, and therefore I have included this band structure, because optical properties of semiconductor will be different from conductors. Why? Because semiconductors have band gap, but conductors or metals, they don't have band gap. Okay. So anyway, this you can include. Mainly gold nanoparticle groups should include this. Okay. The zinc oxide groups don't need to include. Then comes here surface plasmon resonance. Okay. So here we have shown a picture from surface plasmon resonance. And one thing, if you are taking a picture from a source, because of course we did not make it or we did not draw it, you have to write the source also. Suppose I have taken it from ResearchGate. No? So ResearchGate, from ResearchGate I am writing. So what is the caption? This is surface plasmon resonance phenomenon. Okay, we have already explained. The video is there in YouTube. You can see maybe. So oscillation of conduction band electron due to light incident on metal nanoparticle giving rise to surface plasmon resonance. So this is the, so now there may be a lot of questions based on surface plasmon resonance. Okay, it's up to the examiner. Maybe the examiner does not know anything about surface plasmon resonance, and so he or she may be very interested in knowing about this. Then you may be asked this question. Or even the examiner knows about surface plasmon resonance, then again you will be asked this question, like you are showing a figure. Therefore, what I have done is I have written some points here in the next slide to explain about surface plasmon resonance. Okay. Okay, the points are given. I think we don't have to explain them now. We can do it later. And then surface plasmon resonance. If we are discussing about surface plasmon resonance, then what is the observation? Okay. So we have taken these pictures. Again, I have written the source, from which source we have written. Okay, this is from ResearchGate, and this is from one company website, 4nano, like that. Then again, observations. What are the observations of surface plasmon resonance? And these observations are coming from, actually, whatever I am writing in the next slide, they are coming from the previous slide. Like here, this is the figure, and next slide is the explanation. So similar thing. Okay, so here you can write some points. Okay, there are 4 or 5 points for surface plasmon resonance. Okay. Okay, then Raman scattering, surface enhanced Raman scattering. Again, so I think I am not going to explain anymore these things, because these are very group specific. Like zinc oxide groups don't have to know what is surface enhanced Raman scattering. So that is not there. They don't have to know about this. This is for gold nanoparticle group. Then I have written like Raman scattering. What is, then a few lines about limitations of Raman scattering. Then why we need surface enhanced Raman scattering. Then this is a figure of surface enhanced Raman scattering. Then what are the why surface enhanced Raman scattering happens? 2 main points we have written here. Then some features of surface enhanced Raman scattering I have written. Then applications, you can write 3 or 4 applications of surface. Then surface enhanced Raman scattering. Then we have done some literature review of SCRS. Okay, so this is very group specific. So you can write, or you may skip. Okay. So anyway, after this could be your resultant discussion, provided if we had done some work. Okay, we had done some experiments. Then finally, you have to write some observations. And after observations, like your conclusion and future plan, maybe this one also you have to write point wise. Well, like 3 or 4 points you can write what you want to do in your future. Then of course, after this, you acknowledgement slide comes. This also you write point wise. And then it's thank you. Okay. So this is the way how you can make your thesis. Okay. So the point is, you have to include figures wherever you can, and you should be knowing everything about that figure, because you don't know what question you are asked from that figure by the examiner. It's completely up to the examiner what you are asked. Okay, so that is the most important thing. Okay, so I think that's all I had to tell you. So you have any question, you can ask. So you have any questions?
Sir,
Hmm.
sir, এই গোটেইখিনি যে প্ৰেজেন্ট কৰিম মানে কি আপুনি যেনেকে প্ৰেজেন্ট কৰি আছে ঠিক তেনেকে কৰিম ন স্যাৰ?
No, this is just I am today's session is today's meeting is only for what you will include in your presentation.
Okay, sir.
It is not about how you will present in front of your examiner. When you are
Okay,
talking
sir.
about in front of your examiner, you have to explain everything. Of course, your group has 3 people, and of course this is your presentation, which is almost complete. Okay,
Sir,
so
sir মানে মই এইটো
I think
সুধিছো
you don't
মানে
have to do much with it.
টেকনিকেলিটি যিখিনি মানে ধৰ আপুনি যেনেকে প্ৰেজেন্ট কৰিছে ইয়াত মানে যেটো গুগল মিটতে হ'ব মোষ্ট প্ৰবাবলি
Mhm.
কেনেকে মানে টেকনিকেলিটি সুধিছো যে মানে কেনেকে প্ৰেজেন্ট কৰিম মানে এতিয়া আপুনি যেনেকে প্ৰেজেন্ট কৰি আছে এখন স্ক্ৰিনত ঠিক আমি তেনেকুৱাই ল'ম নে
Mhm.
ভিডিঅ' ৰেকৰ্ডিং কৰিব লাগিব সব কিন্তু বোৰ্ড বা তেনেকুৱা
No,
ধৰণৰ
you have to present like this.
ওকে
So in Google Meet, you have if possible on the day of presentation,
yes sir
you start with laptops, okay? Because laptops are easier. Of course, you can do from your mobile also. It's not a big deal, but from laptops it is easier. In laptops, okay, in laptops when you so do you know how to present in Google Meet, all of you? Of course, we will discuss these things individually with individual groups. So
স্যার
you
টেকনিক্যালিটিত
have,
অলপ প্ৰবলেম আছে স্যার মানে ল্যাপটপটো কেনেকে কানেক্ট কৰি এটো শো কৰাই বস্তুটো অলপমান দিগদাৰ হৈছে
no, laptop means right now. So anyone is online from laptop right now? Any one of you?
No.
Jimmy?
No, sir. Phone.
Who anyone online from laptop? No one. Okay. Who is somebody then? Can somebody share the mobile screen? If you want to share, you can also start sharing your mobile screen. Okay, I am stopping my sharing here. Can somebody share the mobile screen from Google Meet? Okay, from Google Meet, you can also share your mobile screen. So there are 3 dots in the Google Meet app. Go to the 3 dots.
Yeah. The present screen.
Yeah, present screen, yes.
Okay.